is joy in the gospel. And I think Pope Francis is exactly right by beginning his apostolic exhortation by calling it the joy of the gospel. Because the good news is joyful. We proclaim the good news that has been given to us. And one of the key ways that we do that is by preaching. In the era of the new evangelization, we often think that we have to concentrate on the medium, we have to concentrate on all different modern and contemporary forms of communication. But one that's very, very important is preaching, because from the very, very beginning of the history of the church, preaching has been used to make known that wonderful joy of the gospel. So if you look in the New Testament, there are many, many different roles that preachers play, and there are many, many different genres that preaching fits into. But three important ones are proclamation, teaching, and encouragement. Firstly, preaching is an act of proclamation. It is an act of making known the good news of Christ. The Second Vatican Council in the Second Vatican Council in the Constitution on the Liturgy talks of preaching as making known the greatness of God, the great things that God has done for us. We proclaim these things all over again when we preach. But after proclamation, it's not just enough to assent to faith. We have to learn more about what we believe, because faith and reason go together. So another role or another dimension of preaching is to teach. Now, teaching when we preach is not the same as standing up in front of a classroom and giving a lesson and going through things at points, point by point by point. No, teaching when it comes to preaching is something completely different. When we preach, we are people of faith, speaking of faith in a context of faith to other people who believe. And we who have had the chance to study theology and philosophy and had a chance to learn how to preach and all that goes into that, we've had the opportunity to think and to examine more about what we have come to know and what we've come to believe. And we share that as in a teaching moment. But of course, it's not just words. Words and actions and deeds and gestures, all those things come into preaching, that we can help people and help ourselves to come deeper into the mystery that we have received and that we believe after it has been proclaimed to us. A third aspect of preaching, and I think it's very important for the context of the world and the church that we live in at the moment, is encouragement. Preaching is an act of encouragement. If we read the letter to the Romans, we see that St. Paul wanted to go to the church in Rome to encourage the brothers and the sisters in faith. When we preach, we encourage. We have come to know this good news. We have come to experience the joy of the gospel in our own lives, and we are able to, by our words and by our gestures and by what we say in the context of preaching, to encourage our brothers and sisters in the faith. So to proclaim, to teach, and to encourage, they're the three aspects that we use in preaching to make known the joy of the gospel.